everything just changed. With the 2025 NBA Draft lottery picks officially being set, there's a new favorite team to land Giannis Antetokounmpo this offseason, and it has changed the Rockets' viewpoint on who they're going to go after this offseason. Welcome into Rockets Digest. I appreciate you joining us. I'm Jace Andrews, and without further ado, let's get right into it. First of all, here are the draft lottery results, 1 through 14. The Dallas Mavericks getting pick number 1 has to be rigged. How do you trade Luka Doncic away and somehow the basketball gods reward you? No, Adam Silver told Nico Harrison, if you trade him, I'll give you the number 1 pick. It's just simply not possible, and I'm pretty pissed about it, but that's besides the point. Looking at the Houston Rockets, you get the number 10 pick. That's great. It's from the Phoenix Suns. It's not a bad spot to be, considering you were just the number 2 team in the Western Conference. Yes, you lost in the first round, but who cares about that right now? We're looking to next season. The big thing, though, the San Antonio Spurs getting picks number 2 and number 14, which has now entirely changed up the favorites for Giannis Antetokounmpo and where exactly he is expected to end up. Now, there were talks about him wanting to go to LA, wanting to go to New York. That's not happening. Straight up, that's just not going to happen. There are only about 5 places he could go. 3 of them reside in Texas. 1 of them resides in New Orleans. So let's just go look at the odds here. Here's the updated odds for Giannis Antetokounmpo after the NBA Draft lottery. The Bucks are still the favorite to retain him, which I kind of find a little surprising just because I think it's been pretty clear he's going to be traded. But, oh well, they're favored. The Spurs, then the Rockets, and the Mavericks behind them. Listen, it's a very interesting thing to think about that the Rockets are in the mix with the Spurs and the Mavericks, and although, teams in your state, in some ways rivals, and in some aspects not as well, but in the biggest thing you look at is that the Spurs just got the number 2 pick, and the Mavericks just got the number 1 pick. If they want Giannis, they can get him, and the Rockets can't do anything about it. And honestly, I don't know if the Spurs are going to go after him. But at the same time, when you get a top 2, the second pick, and then on top of it, the number 14 pick, that is a very, very, very appealing thing to the Milwaukee Bucks. And so I've seen the comments, and I know that you're kind of intrigued. What does a trade of the Spurs look like, and how does that work? Well, that's what I want to look at throughout today's video, is some of the proposed trades that we've gotten for the Spurs and a new one for the Rockets, which you have not seen up to this date. Let's go right into this first trade that we are going to look at. Giannis to the Spurs. Here is the trade details. The Bucks get Stephen Castle, Harrison Barnes, Keldon Johnson, a 2025 number 2 overall pick, obviously big thing, and then the most favorable of the Milwaukee and New Orleans first round pick next year in 2026. So that can be like a pick swap type thing. The Pelicans would get the number 14 pick from the Spurs, plus Atlanta's unprotected 2027 first-round pick. That's coming from the Spurs, just for housekeeping there. And then the Spurs get Giannis Antetokounmpo to come and pair him up with Victor Wembanyama. That's honestly a very realistic trade. I could see the Spurs, as intriguing of a team they are, and as a number 2 pick would do them justice, a Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to do them more justice when they have guys like De'Aaron Fox, who was just traded there. When Victor Wembanyama, who, for the sport of basketball, I hope is healthy, because he's a very fun guy to watch. Straight up, he's fun to watch. He's hurt. We don't know what's going to happen. The blood clots, there's a bunch of things that go on with that. But the big thing there, that trade can easily get done, and the Spurs right there can take the Bucks and take Giannis to town. And I think that is a very good trade. Now, Giannis is such a good player that he's going to acquire a lot. I understand that. He averaged a double-double this past season. He was the highest scoring guy in the first round of playoffs, had the most rebounds. He is going to be a pretty penny, especially when you think about how much he has meant to the Milwaukee Bucks. And I think that is an even bigger thing, because this guy was homegrown. He got them a championship. He has MVPs there. He's got a finals MVP. Trading him is going to have to be worth the Bucks' while, especially when they don't have their first-round picks over the next couple years. So that's where I want to look at a Rockets trade here, and a new one. And hold your horses and grab your belt buckle, because this one is crazy. The Bucks get Amon Thompson, Jalen Green, Cam Whitmore, Donovan Clingan, a 2025 first-round pick via Phoenix. That would be the 10th pick. The 2027 first-round pick via Phoenix, coming again from Houston. 2029 first most favorable pick from Milwaukee, Portland, or Washington. 2028 and 2030 Milwaukee swap rights extinguished. Basically, they're going to get their picks back for 2028 and 2030. The Rockets would get Giannis Antetokounmpo and Jeremiah Grant. Whoop-de-doo, they added in another player. And the Trailblazers get Alperen Şengün and Jacques Landale. This trade absolutely decimates the Rockets. Straight up. The fact that this trade was put on the internet, I question people's mental sanity. You think the Rockets would trade away their top 3 young core? Yeah, you get Giannis. Cool. Who is he going to pass it to? I get Reed Shepherd's great, but it's going to be him, Tari Eason, Reed Shepherd out there. Like, what are we doing? Maybe you get Fred VanVleet back and Dylan Brooks, but this team and their future just gets taken out. I'm in the boat that Cam Whitmore is more valuable than Reed Shepherd. And I think that if Cam Whitmore's in this trade, no matter what trade it is, I'm saying no. Whereas if it's Reed Shepherd, I have a little bit more of a okay to it, which is funny because Reed was the higher draft pick, but I believe Cam has the the better fit for the Houston Rockets. Let me know what you think about that trade down in the comments. Obviously, Amen Thompson, Jalen Green, Alperen Şengün, all gone. I think we're all going to have the same opinion on this. I just wanted to share because my eyes could not be the only one that got burned by looking at this. I had to share this with y'all. So that's one of the trades. Let's go back to another one with San Antonio. And I do have a new report on the Rockets and what they're actually looking for in the offseason. Stay tuned for that. Let's look at this Spurs pick real quick, though. The Bucks would get Zion Williamson, Keldon Johnson, a 2025 first-round pick from the Spurs, which, again, number 2, a 2027 first-round pick for the Pelicans, and the 2029 first-round pick with the Spurs. So lots of picks to give up there. Devin Vassell, Jimmy Sohan, Pat Connaughton, and first-round picks from the Spurs via the Hawks going to the Pelicans. Again, I actually believe that Hawks pick might be the 14th, but either or. They're getting a first-round pick, and the Spurs would get Giannis Antetokounmpo. So in all reality, Jeremy Sohan is a great young player. He has his ups and downs, but he played at Baylor. He's a Texas guy, so I think he's fine. I don't think the Spurs would have any problem with trading him away, but I find it very intriguing that, again, that's another Spurs trade that just works better. And the more and more we start to look at this, I do believe the Rockets are in on Giannis Antetokounmpo. And if you don't believe me, just believe the reports. The Rockets are interested in Antetokounmpo, but, and here's where the new information is coming, they're not looking so much at trades for Booker, Durant, or Zion Williamson. It seems like right now it's Antetokounmpo or we're keeping this team whole, / maybe John Morant, maybe Trae Young, maybe some teams or some lower-level players. I say Trae Young's a lower-level player. I think he'd be great in Houston, but besides the point, Antetokounmpo is the guy that the Rockets are going to go after, if they go after somebody at all. I saw that obviously the Pelicans got in there. If you've been watching our channel for the past couple of days, you've seen this trade, but just wanted to throw it on the screen there. The big reason why New Orleans is such a key thing in this entire trade package for Giannis is because New Orleans holds the picks for the Bucks for the next 3 years. That's why they have to be included in trades like this, because the Bucks want their picks back if they're going to trade away Giannis. The only options for them are getting top-tier picks and getting top-tier players, because they don't really want to go into a full rebuild right now when they have Damian Lillard. Yes, he's going to be out next year, but they want to build, have this year to build, and the next year be back in the playoffs in the Western Conference, the Eastern Conference, which, by the way, if Jason Tatum's injured next year, the Western Conference needs to shed some teams. Let the Rockets go play in the East. We'll beat everybody up and be the number one team, and it won't be close. I digress. Either way, the Pelicans, I believe, are going to be involved in this trade. And I think the Pelicans are going to make their own offer. They're going to say, hey, here's Zion Williamson. Here's your first-round picks back. Maybe throw in somebody else, but they could easily say, what about that? I doubt the Bucks would accept that, which is why I throw their name in there as a team to watch. But the 3 teams that are very obviously the favorites at this point are definitely the Spurs, the Rockets, and, of course, the 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 Mavericks, who, again, I still can't believe they got the number 1 overall pick, but that's besides the point. Here's the odds again. 145 for the Bucks. I kind of can't believe they're favored to keep him. I'm very surprised. I got to be quite honest. I thought it was very obvious that they were going to trade him, but I don't know. The Rockets obviously got the 10th pick. That's great. I think this will be a helpful pick to use. Honestly, I did see a trade out there, which we might talk more about, and we'll talk about, what is the options for the Rockets at number 10. But I saw one that they would trade away this pick to the Nuggets and get first-round picks unprotected in 2031 and 32. Honestly, don't mind it because I think this team is really good as it is, and honestly, I think the Rockets have better first-round picks in Reed Shepherd and Cam Whitmore that are already on the team. So this 10th pick, I'm going to open it up to the room here. I don't really think it means much to the Rockets. I think they would easily trade this pick away and not care. If this pick was higher than 6 or above, or rather below, whatever way you want to think about it, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, any of those picks, I think the Rockets would feel a little bit more prevalence to keep that pick. I don't think they're really that worried about keeping this pick. I mean, obviously, if they get to the point where no one's making a trade and you're a team at the number 2 Western Conference record last year and you get the number 10 pick, yeah, you're feeling pretty good. Not that big a deal. But I don't think they're attached to this pick as much as they would have been had it been a higher pick. But it also limits what they can do in trades, which creates the problem at hand. What do the Rockets do? Do they go after Giannis? Do they feel like the NBA has just screwed everybody outright again by giving the Mavericks the first-round pick and the Spurs a number 2 pick because they want Giannis to go to San Antonio, which, again, the Western Conference is going to be a bloodbath next year. Thanks a lot, Adam Silver. You're a horrible commissioner and should be fired right away. Whatever. I really am curious to see your thoughts. Do you think that there is this trade package that the Rockets could have that is better? And I say better, they can make a better trade package than the Spurs. They have better players. They have picks. But do you think it's a trade that would be worth it is my thing. And in that same omen, now that they have the 10 pick, what are your thoughts? Do you even want to go after Giannis? Or do you think that they should go after a Trae Young or a Ja Morant? And obviously they're not going to go after Booker, it sounds like, or Williamson or Durant, but maybe they go after a Ja Morant or a Trae Young. Let me know who would be your top trade guys in the comment section / maybe some free agents. We're going to start doing those videos as well. So appreciate you watching again. Appreciate all the support. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We've got so much coming your way over the next months and months and months. And I want you to be a part of this journey. So H-Town, hit that subscribe button and we'll have more Rockets videos in the future. We'll see you next time here on Rockets Digest.